This is called Get Some. It's a show about health with a human sexuality emphasis. And tonight's program is on Meridian tapping. I know you probably don't know what that is, but you will know all about it within the next 30 minutes. And it's something that you'll be able to use in your life to help you with certain situations. But because this is a show with an emphasis on human sexuality, we're going to talk about Meridian tapping and its use in easing sort of heartache in relationships. You know, when there's relationship issues or sort of things go wrong. And who's here to help me with this tonight, because she's the expert in it, is Karen Kirani. And Karen she has a master's in counseling, and she's the coordinator of the multicultural program here at Penn State Berks. And so she's going to talk about, and she also is the founder of Gentle Transformation, which is an organization that focuses on holistic health. So Meridian tapping is a type of therapy that can be done to help you. So it falls under that umbrella of holistic health. So Karen's also my very good friend and coffee buddy. Yeah. So it's very nice to have her here.
Yeah, very nice to be here.
Yes. But maybe, how about what is Meridian tapping? Because I didn't know what it was until, well, maybe about a year ago.
When I started coming out with it.
Yeah. And then I'll tell you my personal story of Meridian tapping then, okay? All right, go ahead. What is it?
Meridian tapping was originated by a founder of EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. And his name is Gary Craig, and he was an engineer that taught at Stanford University. And so he was very interested in how physics works and things of that nature. And he realized that we have a lot of electrical currents in our body, such as, how many of you have had an EKG or an EEG? You know what I'm talking about, where they stick those little things all over your face and your body, and they get these little numbers, you know, these little lines. Well, they're measuring the electrical impulses throughout your body. So he took a little bit further and did some Eastern studying. And all of you have heard, I'm sure, of acupuncture. Have you heard of acupressure? Well, tapping is a form of hitting these meridian points gently, tapping them gently, and I'll show you how to do it. I'm just going to give you an introduction tonight. How to tap these points gently with the setup phrase. It's very simple, it's not difficult to do, and it's to be gentle. So you either tap or rub at the different spots gently as we're going over different situations. And one of the things of doing it that you have to remember is it isn't about right or wrong, or am I doing this technique exactly right. I'm going to show you a quick technique to do tonight. There's longer ones in different parts of your body, but start learning to hear your body as you're doing tapping, okay? And he does that, and it's taking, like, unlocking blockages, emotional blockages in your body. You know, we have our flight or fight syndrome. You've heard of all that. Everybody's heard of that. Well, in our modern day society, this fight or flight syndrome can end up becoming detrimental to our health, because if we're always in fight or flight syndrome, it sends off hormones in our body, the cortisol hormones, which I am the queen of, because it will raise your blood pressure, will raise your insulin rate, it brings this adipose fat onto your body, the tummy fat. It's detrimental to long-term good health, okay? So tapping is a way of beginning to relieve some of those spots, that stress reaction that you're having in your body. For me, I started doing this and a few other things about a little over 2 years ago. It's almost 3 years now, because it was 2009. So when I went, I was a very critical person. I was like, we'll see. But I need to do something because I had a TIA, if anybody knows what that is. And I thought I have to do something, different because I was very stressed. So I went and I practiced different techniques and I did different things. And to make a long story short, I said to my instructor, if this helps me, I'm my own guinea pig, then I will be willing to teach it to others. So I've been doing this on myself now for a while and it has really helped me. I am a diabetic and my diabetes, sometimes they're just blown out of the water by how low my A1Cs are going, how well I manage things. As a matter of fact, my doctor's office wants me to work with groups of diabetics and they refer people to me as well. So, because when you learn to reduce your stress, it helps. And it helps in every area. And if you have a heartache, if you've broken up with someone, and in here we've all had ups and downs in relationships. Is there anyone here who hasn't? I want to see that hand.
Anyone who hasn't had stress in their life? The kind of like, oh my goodness, your heart's pounding and you can't sleep at night or you wake up in a panic. That totally happened to me last weekend. But I'll fill you in. And Karen helped me out, like big time.
So, and it's real simple, and sometimes I think if it's so simple and so easy, it can't work. But the thing is, it does work.
Yeah.
And it does help. And just like anything, you have to practice it. I got so busy with work, and like you get so busy with your school and your family and what all is going on, that you may forget to take care of yourself the way you need to take care of yourself. And I started going down that spiral again. But fortunately, I recognized the spiral, could stop it, and started doing what I need to do to take care of myself. And I'm much better.
And a little bit of stress is okay and healthy for us. But when it starts to overwhelm you and it's affecting you and you can't do your activities of daily living like you normally do, then you need to do something about it, because then it becomes not healthy and it affects other parts of your body, like your blood sugar and your blood pressure and all that kind of stuff, and your mental health. And let me tell you my story, then we'll come up with a scenario. And I want to come up with like a relationship scenario, so you try to think of that while I'm telling you my story. So I'm in a PhD program, and I had to take these huge comprehensive exams last Saturday. So it was 3 big exams on everything that I had for the past 4 years. And so it was foundations, applications, and research. So I had to do, like how you were talking about stats, I had to do qualitative and quantitative stats, and I'm not a math person either. And so I had that stressor because I work full-time. And then also you're assigned a computer when you get there, and you don't know if it will be a PC or a Mac, and I never used a Mac, so I had 2 stressors. You know, taking the 3 tests, and what if I get a Mac, what am I going to do? So I took off last Friday because I just needed to, because the test was on Saturday, and Karen came down on Thursday to my office. I said, can you just like tap me or, you know, do your thing to me? And she did, and she said, you know, what's bothering you? And I said, you know, these exams, and she said, what else? And I said, what if I get a Mac and not a PC? And she had me tap on these parts of me, and I felt good, and I went home. And then Friday night, because the exam was Saturday morning in Chester County, so Friday night, like at 2 a.m., I literally like sat up in bed with a panic attack. And I thought, oh my God, I can't believe I have these exams. What am I going to do? I can't even look at another book. I just need to go to sleep. Well, I couldn't go back to sleep. So I thought, okay, what do I normally do when I can't go to sleep? I take Benadryl, right? So I thought, okay, I'll take Benadryl. Well, you know what would happen if I took Benadryl? I would be out. I would wake up, leave, and I'd still be groggy, and I probably would have failed my test. So I thought instead, oh, okay, Karen taught me how to tap. I know I was totally like tapping the wrong parts, but I tapped and calmed down, like my breathing got better, and I went to sleep, and I woke up. I didn't get my results yet. I'll get them April 17th, but I feel like I did really good. So, I mean, that's my personal story of how it worked for me. The other alternative for me was to take Benadryl that made me go to sleep, and I know that would have affected me the next day, you know, the way that my performance would not have been as well as having a good night's rest without having that sleep aid in me. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Seriously. I called her the next day. I'm like, I literally tapped myself. I don't know if I did it the right way, but it felt good. So try to think of a relationship issue. Can anybody think of one? You don't have to tell us any skeleton in your closet or just a broad issue, like someone lied to you, they said they weren't seeing someone else and they were, and you know, something like that, and we'll practice with it. What do you think? Anybody come up with an issue? Go ahead.
Meeting the parents, like,
Okay.
not like wonder, like you heard about it.
Okay, so
That they're
so you're
really-
with this person, and you're well. Do you want to find out what about the meeting of the parents?
Okay. Is this, you're meeting the parents of a significant person in your life?
No, I was thinking about a past relationship of mine where his parents were very conservative and very religious, and I was the type of person that I had about 4 piercings in my face and like
So are they going to judge you? And
Yeah,
are they
like
going to
that
think, will you be
kind of-
accepted?
Yeah, like-
Okay, that's a stressor.
Yeah.
So
And it makes you feel
nervous?
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be. I think a lot of people would be nervous, period, about meeting the parents of someone, a boyfriend, girlfriend situation. Well, I want to teach you some basic things about tapping, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, there's 2 what they call sore points, okay? And we can go with whichever you feel is comfortable. So I'm going to show you the 2 sore points. A lot of times people in groups will just do, they call it the karate chop, at your hand like this. So just tap it. You can tap it or you can rub it, but you know, make contact gently, okay? The other sore point is right here at your collarbone, and you rub it in the other way, not clockwise, anti-clockwise. Counterclockwise. I'm 60 and I'm on delay. Counterclockwise. Okay, that's another sore point. Okay, and without saying anything, when we do, you can either do this one or this one. You don't have to do both. You can either do one or the other. Maybe for tonight, we'll just start with the karate chop point. And we make a setup phrase, which I will teach you in a minute. Okay? And then I'm just going to show you the other points that we're going to touch, and I have handouts for anybody who wants it afterwards. After we do the setup phrase for 3 times, we're going to right over your eyebrow. You can gently tap right here, right where your nose and your eyebrow meet, right in here. Right at the side of your eye, right under your eye. And we do it just a couple times, 5, 7 times, something like that. Under your nose, under your chin, at your collarbone. It doesn't matter which side you're doing. Under your arm. And then we're going to go to the top of your head. Now some people, you'll find different people who tap go in different directions. And there's many other ways to tap, but that's the quickest way. Okay, and I have the points here for you if anybody wants this afterwards. Let's go back to the karate point. We're going to do it on the side of the hand, and if you want to do it up here, you may. Whatever feels best to you. That's what's important. So you're anxious about meeting, so we can say phrases. I am anxious about meeting, can you give me a name?
You could just say his.
Okay, I'm anxious about, I'm going to give him a name. I'm anxious about meeting Joe's parents, okay? We'll start with, even though I'm so anxious about meeting Joe's parents, I still deeply, completely accept myself. Even though I'm so anxious about meeting Joe's parents, I completely accept myself. Even though I'm so anxious about meeting Joe's parents, I completely accept myself. I'm so afraid they won't like me. I'm so afraid they really will hate me. Oh, what if they don't like all my piercings? Maybe they don't like the color of my hair. What if they don't like what I have on? Oh my goodness, it could be so bad. But I'm a good person. Really, I'm a good person. I'm really a good person. I'm a good person. Yes, I am. If they get to know me, I think they'll love me. Wouldn't that be amazing? If they really love me? I would love for them to like me. I would like to have conversation with them. Thank you for letting me get there. I am a beautiful person. I am a great person. I am a kind person. I am a loving person. We will get along. I'm putting that out there. I accept me for who I am. Thank you. Take a deep breath. Now, even though you aren't all in that situation, how do you feel right now?
Yeah, it does. And she had me do that, and I really feel like I crushed my exams, you know? Seriously, like it made me feel like I can do this.
Now, one thing that I also want you to do to measure yourself is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am the most stressed out in this situation. 1 or 0 mean you eliminated that anxiety, okay? Is when you start, rate where you are in the stress. Like, I'm really freaked out. Like somebody maybe who found out their partner cheated on them, feels betrayed, and they broke up, would probably be at the very top, okay? So you can start tapping on all those feelings, and I would do like 2-3 rounds at a time, and then take a deep breath, see where your level is at, and then the goal is to keep tapping until you get it down to a 1 or a 0. What they have found in doing research with this is that the tapping actually works in the mid part of your brain, and talking therapy works in the front part of your brain. So can you imagine, a lot of therapists are now using this in counseling because you're using more of your brain and you're working on both your sympathetic, and it's sympathetic.
Sympathetic, yeah.
And because those two are to get them in balance and to ease them. Because if one's over the other, you can develop all different kinds of problems. Okay? And in our society, where things are chronically happening all the time, it seems like finding that balance is very difficult. So to use something of this technique as well, if you have a core issue, a core belief, say about how you feel about yourself in a relationship. So how many people feel that, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable?
Or have you ever felt that way? We probably all have felt that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can anybody think of another phrase?
Or another situation.
How about I can't trust anybody? Throw anything else out. I'm not good looking enough.
I'm not fun enough.
What were you saying?
Obviously, you could just say you get real nervous before a job interview.
Yeah,
Right,
you
right.
can use
Oh
this.
my goodness, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you should have seen me the first time before I told anybody here I did something.
Yeah.
I had to do a presentation to the faculty at a symposium, and I was the only person from student affairs, and Blaine was like, you have to make student affairs look good. I mean, I felt the pressure.
Pressure's on.
And when I walked in the auditorium, Blaine goes, now you have to wow them. I'm like, ah. So I'm like sitting there like this in the auditorium, waiting, tapping on my karate chop because I couldn't do all this. And Dr. Skate looks at me like, well, I'm just going
And you did your back talk and wowed them, right?
Yes, I did. I did a very good job.
Yeah.
So, that was the first time that I used it in that kind of situation, okay? So, because I really felt very stressed. I felt a lot of pressure on me.
I felt with me it gave me the right to have those feelings, and then it also gave me the confidence to succeed.
Right.
That I didn't always think down on myself.
Right. And this is where,
I have the knowledge, I know I could do it, and that's how you talk me through
Right.
it. Yeah.
And you know how a lot of times we have our own negative belief systems about ourselves. So tapping is one way to help bring them out. And if it keeps coming back, it's really good to get help with that, to talk to somebody about that as you work it out, okay? To balance it. And if you need professional help, you need it, because core beliefs are like our different colored sunglasses. So everybody called perception, and no one's perception is the same. We all perceive things differently. So what you may believe may be really true to you, but not true to anybody else. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you tap on it to ease that which causes you suffering. Anybody else have a situation that they'd like to tap on with relationships?
Let's think of another one. And Karen will talk us through it. Crickets?
Okay.
Think of one. It doesn't have to be yours. Just think of an issue that happens with relationships. What's it? Any issue.
I don't deserve a good relationship. Anybody relate with that? I'm not lovable. Somebody holler.
How about they cheated on me?
I've been cheated on.
Or the fear of being cheated.
The
Like,
fear of
Okay.
can I trust them?
Okay.
Should we do
can
that?
I trust? Okay. Okay.
Like, how would you deal with that if you're worried, you're with someone, and you're like, I don't even know if I can trust them? Like, how do you even go further in the relationship then?
If you
Yeah.
have trust issues. Okay, so we would start with, even though I don't trust this person, I still deeply trust myself. Even though I don't trust this person, I completely accept myself. Even though I don't trust this person, I deeply and completely love myself. I don't trust him. I don't trust her. What's going on? Where is this trust issue coming from? I don't like this feeling. I don't feel safe. I really don't feel safe. I want to feel safe. I want to be able to trust. Can I trust? Even a little bit? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of being hurt. I'm so afraid of being hurt. I don't want to be hurt. How can I overcome this hurt? I know that I'm okay. Even if my feelings get hurt, I know how to take care of myself. I'm okay. I can dare to trust. I can take that risk to trust. Thank you for letting me trust. And take a deep breath. Does that help?
It felt weird in the beginning, but as you listen to it and do it, it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can when you do the tapping, okay, go by what comes to you. I'm just saying things up here. But if I was working with you individually, if something comes up, you would say it, and then we would just go through it. You know, we would, whatever comes to your mind is what we tap on. There's no right or wrong in this, okay? Whatever comes to you, you tap on. But it makes you feel better. There's something called borrowing benefits, which I'm going to have tonight. We're all going to have because we all tap together, whether we tap on the same issue or not. You're going to feel something. And sometimes with tapping, you may not notice it right now, but you may notice it residually a little bit later down the road. A lot of times I'm like that. It takes a little time down the road to see the real effects. So you just go with whatever emotion comes. And sometimes if you're really angry, cuss it out. Really. You just, don't stand in the middle of a hall and start cussing, then we might haul you away. But, when you're in your own private space and you're really upset or hurt, or you're with another person who knows how to tap and can tap with you, you cuss it out. The first time my coach told me to cuss it out because I was really upset, I was like, I can't cuss it out, I'm older. We don't cuss that much. So it took me a little bit, but boy, did that get some of the emotion out. Okay? And I always try to end it with some kind of appreciation.
Yes. Of
I was
yourself, do you think?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, when you do the setup phrase is really, you have to find what you're comfortable with. But a lot of times, even though you have this problem, they really would like to say, I deeply and completely love myself, but people in a group like this have a little hard time with it, and I don't feel like dealing with that issue right now, so I will say I deeply and completely accept myself. Or I give myself permission to receive, or I give myself permission to trust. But you start out with even though, whatever the problem is, and then I give my, if you don't know what to say, just say I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Because as you are is good for you. It's good for all of us. And you need to completely accept all those negative emotions as well as all those positive emotions, because there's no one who doesn't have them. Okay? So you completely love and accept who you are. That's very important in this, so that setup phrase. And sometimes I also do some hypnotherapy, and a lot of times I may just have people tap, maybe if on an issue, or just tap without saying anything. And they, it helps them to relax more to get into the session. So it's a technique that I use on myself, or I wouldn't have taught it to you. And I'm very glad that I found this and I can share this with you. Any questions or comments?
This could be like a good form of therapy for somebody who's gotten out of a domestic abuse relationship.
I would also suggest that they work with a counselor.
Yeah.
But this is a technique. This is a technique to use, just like deep breathing, like doing yoga, meditation, all these things help you. This is just another technique. It's a quick and easy one. If you have a problem, some problems have been so severe that we've tapped for an hour to get it down to a 0 or a 1 or a 0. So it takes time. And if the problem keeps reoccurring, then we really haven't gotten to the core issue. So it's something I use on myself, actually on a daily basis.
Anybody else?
Any other comments or questions?
Good. Okay, and you have some handouts for them?
Yes, if anybody wants a handout, do you want it out now, or they can pick them up afterwards?
We can do now. We'll end it then. But what if a question comes up later on? How can they ask you? Do you know where she is? Right up at the other end of the hall.
I'm in room 13.
Yeah, on this floor.
I'm the multicultural coordinator of multicultural program.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you.